Hey. Good morning. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Ooh, buttery. Time to wake up. Move your body on this Monday, December 12th, 2022. 2D2. Final week of season 4 happening now. Yes. How y'all feeling this Monday morning? Wanda Lewis already up, giving us a good morning on both channels, Facebook and YouTube. That's what's up.
Okay.
She's here, she's there, she's everywhere.
All at once.
What's going on, y'all? Good morning. Trying to wake up. Hey, Brother Valentine says, morning, fam. Monday already?
Man.
Yeah. Got to get with you today. Let the weekend slip past us. Shout out to the 630 crew. Let us know how the mix was if you're over there listening on First Sky Omaha, the radio channel. Appreciate it. Mark Matter in the house. Hanging with us on YouTube. What's up, man? Good morning from the... Where you at? Where you at today?
Who you with?
I've been watching all the footage from people checking out Ja Rule and them.
I told you.
Just the same. What up, even my baby?
I told you.
Raggedy. Amy Helpful says, good morning, fam. What's up, Amy? Mark Manor says, trying to type and walk. Okay.
Oh, okay.
You're always on the move in the morning. I like that.
Actually, I heard it's not as cold as expected out there in the O.
This week, it's about to get there. But it'll be about 40. It's going to stay under 40 today, but right under 40. Yeah. What's the weather like out there, man?
It's been foggy.
Yeah, we got mad fog going on here. So.
Yeah, it's been wet and foggy.
Oh, okay. We're supposed to get a thunderstorm later on the night. So,
man, heard the West Coast got rocked over the weekend.
Oh yeah, that's a trip.
Right.
Beth says interesting. She says interesting mix this morning for my early morning run. Thank you. That's what's up.
Okay, is that
still getting up early? I
think that's good. Interesting.
Yeah, I think that's a compliment. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what's up. Mark Matter says that it'll be later this week. Yeah, it's supposed to get cold, bro. Josh says marvelous Monday to all. What's happening?
Hey.
Pop says good Monday morning. Love to the crew and fam. What's going on, Pops? That's right. It is Monday, December 12th, 2022. Fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning. All Beeee, Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you chat chimers, all of you ghost listeners getting up with us on this Monday morning. And we really appreciate everybody getting up this morning. Buddy, how you feeling this morning?
Man, I'm all right. Could have used a couple more, just a few more winks last night, but I'll take it. Man, I did wake up this morning like I'm looking forward to sleeping in for the next month. But then I thought it's probably not going to be a lot of sleeping. First of all, I just naturally wake up before my alarm. So, your circadian cycle is now it's stuck.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And we got a lot of work to do, man. So I can't let myself get too comfortable because we're preparing for season 5. It don't stop, can't stop, won't stop. Take that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking this morning. Is that we're gonna my time in the day really is like, man, I guess we better be taking these mornings and doing some First Sky Omaha work.
Man.
Because I don't know where I'm gonna squeeze out any more time anywhere. So we'll see what's happening. But yeah, last week, this is the final week of season 4. So after
Man.
Friday, we'll be on a break. On a air break anyway. We like I said, we'll be working behind the scenes to get season 5 up and running. Somebody gave us a good suggestion about what the theme for season 5, and I forgot it. I was trying to go back through the shows and look and see what it was, but I couldn't figure it out. Do you
Yeah.
remember what that was?
No, not off the top of my head. We received a few good suggestions, man, from the chat chimers. So we appreciate y'all.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're always taking feedback. Let us know what do you think should be the focus or the theme for season 5.
yeah, yeah. It's a good question. And also for season 5, it looks like we're gonna go ahead and stay. We're gonna do direct everybody to YouTube, which we have been doing because we'll be doing most of our work there. But we'll go ahead and leave that Facebook channel open for those of you that have that are diehard Facebook people, and have a presence over there as well for you to be able to jump in and chat. We'll always read everybody's chat, the chime ins when we can, if we as many as we can, that is, so we can all stay in conversation. But yeah, that's what this is, a conversation event that we have 3 times a week here, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Those that are listening now are pretty much, everybody that comes in before like 7:15 is usually the regulars. So the First Guy Omaha fam, the chat chimers, the ghost listeners that continue to listen to us. So really appreciate everybody. I like being able to talk to y'all right before like we start getting the influx of people that we don't know who's listening and all that kind of stuff. So that's what's up. Appreciate you guys getting up early with us and having a little chat first.
Man.
So yeah, we got a couple special guests coming in today. This is News Monday. So we definitely got a couple special guests coming in. We got Karlha Valesquez from El Perico coming on through. One of my favorite people out here. We always we just had a party for her. She just got another degree. I think she got 2 master's degrees now,
Man.
and is doing the thing. So we had a little outing with her and the news crew over there at the Reader. That was real fun. And just recently, and also Natalia Alamdari is going to come on through from Flatwater Free Press. So it's always good to hear from her. And she's one of those ones that travels around a lot too, man, and
Man.
right in the thick of things and all that good stuff. So shout out to that fam, Flatwater Free Press family. And so can't wait to hear from them a little later on. Stay tuned for that. And tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. Let them know that you're over here and we're broadcasting live, and it's time for the conversation.
Man, as I always say, conversation rules the nation. So feel free to let your mind be free, let your voice be heard, and also let us know what's going on in your world. What did you get into over the weekend? Did any of you make it to the Bud Crawford fight? Did any of you make it to Ja Rule? Let us know how your weekend was, or if you just sat at home, let us know. How things went for you over the weekend. Glad that you're able to make it through the weekend and make it with us again here on this Monday morning, as Paul mentioned, the last Monday morning of the season, man. So yeah, definitely looking forward to this break. Also, let us know, do you have any holiday plans? Going anywhere for New Year's? Doing anything for Christmas or anything? Speaking of Karlha coming on, she just recently released an article on El Perico telling us about some Venezuelan Christmas dishes and things like that. It's always interesting to learn about different cultures and what people do for the holidays. Again, I mentioned we probably won't be, as in my family, we probably won't be celebrating Christmas. We're more of a Kwanzaa family here. So yeah, let us know what you're doing for the holidays and what you have planned for the next month or so. But in the meantime, in between time, Paul B, before getting into the story, you all right? You had a good weekend?
Yeah, not too bad, man. Whatever little bug I had last week was only lasted that day and like the next day, so it wasn't too bad. I
Okay.
actually got a lot done this weekend, man. Pops, you'll appreciate this. Cleaned out one of the storage units on Saturday.
I appreciate that as well.
That's huge. That's
Yeah,
big.
yeah.
Big. So
Nice.
yeah. So on the move for that. On the move for that. So I'm down to 3 now. So this what's up. Um, so anyway, yeah, did that and did some spring cleaning around the house and so on and so forth. Kind of laid low. I had a little work to do. We had that big opening for holiday lights at Benson Theater. So
How was that?
uh, from what I understand, it was good. It was pretty well attended. We were trying to push and get more people there, and I only gave away like 1 or 2 tickets. So
Mm.
so that was Yeah, so that's what it was. And you know, apparently the show's going over well. Critics are digging it and all that good stuff. So that's good. We can use some more people in seats. So I still have some tickets to give away. It's going on. It's firing back up Thursday. So it's a couple weeks run. So it was good. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Then it'll fire back up Thursday, I believe, and go Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So definitely check that out. But yeah, so I had to kind of do a little work, but I was also kind of peeping what was going on with I caught a couple contacts this week too, man. They were like, yeah, next time we do something like this, and they were talking about the Bud Crawford fight. They were like, we love to have First Sky Omaha here and do some first hand kind of coverage type of thing too in you guys' style. So that was a nice little invite and a nice little conversation I had on that. Hadn't really thought of that, but thought that was a kind of a good idea, man. It's kind of I would love to do more with some of the bigger events and stuff like that that's going on in Omaha, and kind of assess them through the way that we do things, our style, and that occurred to me was a good idea. So that's kind of why I was looking at some stats this morning. Of course, Bud Crawford is still the champ. This is like the 10th straight knockout for him.
Man, the champ is here.
The champ, man, and you know he did it. He did it in the hometown. There's something about doing it on your home court. You know what I'm saying? And everybody there watching. Second day they sold that. You know, the second day they sold tickets, it was 9,500 tickets sold, and they anticipated the sellout. So I'm still looking for news on whether or not it was a sellout show. But it's real interesting, like how many people did go out to see the fight from Omaha, and at the same time, the Ja Rule Ashanti concert was also very well attended as well. So
Told you.
yeah, you did say it. You know, like you be forgetting, man. We be fighting over the same like 200 or 300 people. It feel like to me to come out to something. So it's interesting to see what Omaha comes out for and spends, you know, upwards of 50, $60 a ticket for. That's always like follow the money. Let's see what's up. So, so I'm still doing that. I'm following the money. I'm trying to see. And then there was pay per view tickets sold as well, $20 a pop.
Yeah,
And,
man.
and I think they might have broke 10,000 of those. So somebody made some money.
Oh yeah, it's nice purse. I think they call it in the boxing world. But yeah,
none of them carry purses. But yes,
yeah, that part. But yeah, man, let us know if you enjoyed the fight. Did you go to the fight? I see my man Mark Manor in the chat saying he went to see Odyssey at the waiting room. So there's even more going on.
I didn't know Odyssey was at the waiting room.
Man, what? Odyssey's dope. Yeah, Odyssey's definitely dope. So yeah, quite a few things going on. That is a good question, Paul. You know, what drives people to come out to things? You know, even though they don't necessarily sell out, still thousands and thousands of people go to, you know, Maha Festival and, you know, all these things. Taste of Omaha always has a bunch of people coming out of the woodwork. So what does drive people to go to things? That's a good question.
We need some better demographic information. That's all I know.
Okay. Well, hey, if somebody in the chat might have it, let us know. But again, we do have a lot to talk about, so we'll definitely still love to hear what you got into over the weekend or what you have planned for the upcoming month or so while we're off air. But again, would definitely love to hear what you have to say about the topics today. As always, this is a conversation. Conversation rules the nation, so we'd definitely love to hear your input. And we do have some good news, man. Of course, we talked about the MUD bills going up. Of course, season 4, as we get to the end, is still talking about following the money in various ways. And this is some good news for your pocketbooks. Now, although MUD is going up, looks like OPPD might be throwing its customers a bone and possibly helping out with a financial aid program. So we'll talk about exactly what that program entails and you know, just how much you might be getting or what you need to qualify. So again, we'll dive into that situation. Also, $1 billion, or actually, excuse me, millions of dollars coming to the Nebraska and Douglas County Health Departments in the form of $22 million in federal funding for public health workforces and data systems. Of course, we continue to talk about just the health system and health institution or industry in both Douglas and really throughout the state. So we'll definitely look at exactly where's this money going, who's it going to help, what they're going to do with it. Again, continuing to follow the money with that situation. Also, speaking of following the money, I know a lot of y'all remember we had this conversation on Medicare and the Medicare Advantage audit that recently went down, finding that insurance companies are overcharging the government and possibly defrauding states and now there are some government audits and some elected officials that are calling for the money back. So yeah, we'll dive into that situation and exactly what might be moving forward in regards to the aggressive oversight, quote unquote, of the overcharging of the Advantage plans. We do also have an update on the oil spill situation. Actually, looks like this might be one of the worst oil spills in the Keystone pipeline history. So again, we'll dive into exactly the fallout or what exactly has happened now that there's been some time to assess the damage and the cleanup situation. And then also, speaking of damage and cleanup, the OPPD is being criticized for its North Omaha coal plant handling. If you remember, the OPPD was set to close down its North Omaha coal plant, I believe, next year, and they have decided to kick the can down the road a couple years. And of course, there's a lot of outrage about what did the public have to say about this? Did you even consider the public's input? And now they're being called out. Possibly they did not. So again, we'll get into that and more throughout the show. Of course, we are expecting a few guests, so definitely look forward to that. But as always, if there's anything on your hearts, your minds that we're not talking about, if we're missing the mark on something, feel free to drop that into the chat. Let us know. If we have information, we'll talk about it, or if we have questions, we'll talk about it. But in the meantime, in between time, let's get the show on the road. Paul B, Buddi the God, all of you, First Sky Omaha, let's go.
Hey. What up? What up? What up? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you chat chimers, all of you ghost listeners. Thanks for joining us over here on the YouTube channel. We're definitely trying to drive traffic over there so that we can have more options to be able to have better conversations and things like that over there. So thanks for everybody that's joined us over there on the YouTube channel. For those of you that are on Facebook as well, we're going to go ahead and keep the Facebook line open as well for you, that for people that do not want to leave Facebook. I see Gwen Easter over on Facebook gives us a good morning. Good morning to you. Thanks for joining us. But tell a friend, tell a friend. We're still going to be on Facebook. We're going to be on YouTube as well. And definitely tell a friend so we can get as many voices in as possible and have even deeper, better conversations. This is what this is. We love to keep ourselves abreast of what's going on in the news, but we also like to be able to discuss things and get deeper with it and read between the lines. And I'll find some solutions for some of the issues that are going on in our neighborhood. So that's what this is for, and that's why we're here. So thanks for joining us and being a part of this whole thing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're in our last week of season 4. We'll be going on a break December 16th, and we won't be back until January 16th. So we're taking about a month off all through the holidays. Let us know what you guys got planned for the holidays. You guys in and out of town. Let us know, because I'm kind of thinking about throwing a little another little kickback event over the holiday break, and maybe get together and get face to face with some of the chat chimers and the ghost listeners, and be able to just kind of meet each other again and talk again and hang out. So let us know if you're going to be around in town, and we'll try to think of a good date for everybody to get together and come and hang out a little bit. In the meantime, between time, we got a couple special guests coming on, so stay tuned for that. This is News Monday, so we'll be talking to Natalia Alamdari from Flatwater Free Press and Karlha Valesquez from Perico. And can't wait to speak to them a little bit about what's going on. They got some very interesting articles and stuff happening, and of course, they're always in the mix, out there getting the news by any means necessary, like the gangsters that they are.
Hey.
So yeah, appreciate them, and we appreciate all of you. Buddy, what's first on the agenda this morning?
Man, we'll start off with some good news. Again, there might be some relief coming to families and households across the Omaha area in the form of a OPPD financial aid program. This is actually the first for Nebraska, and one of the state's electric utilities is proposing to reduce monthly bills for its poorest customers. OPPD is offering $30 to $40 a month in credit on eligible customers' bills as a part of a pilot program to assess the idea's value. We're trying to be a part of the solution to address utility affordability and housing stability, says Britton Gable, who's manager of advocacy solutions at OPPD. Funding actually will come from OPPD itself, so this isn't like an ARPA fund type situation. This is just OPPD looking for solutions. Britton says the utility has concluded it makes business sense to offer the assistance, which also has a community and customer value. If the program works as expected, OPPD will actually have more customers who are current on their bills. The cost for disconnects, reconnects will decline. The utility will see fewer calls to customer service, and it will carry a lower burden of unpaid bills. The program addresses a hard reality. There's simply not enough crisis aid to help customers who fall behind on their bills. He also says the idea behind the program is to make it possible for customers to remain current on their bills. Customers who participate in this program will still be able to seek other forms of utility aid as well. As for who qualifies for this program, it is open to those whose income are at or below the poverty level. The 2022 federal poverty level is about $13,000 for an individual, $18,000 for a two-person household, and about $23,000 for a three-person household, and up to $27,000 for a family of four. The pilot is open to the first 3,000 who applied. Britton estimated that OPPD has about 39,000 customers or that are at or below the poverty level. So again, it is only going to be a small section of those who may need the program. But again, hopefully, if it is successful, this is a pilot program. We can see it expand in the future. The pilot will run through December 2025. So we have quite some time to see how this will work out. And we'll be open to others who qualify as well. You can go to Nebraska Dollar Energy. That's dollarenergy.org. Or you can call 1-888-282-6816 to apply. Again, that's 1-888-282-6816. And we'll drop that in the chat as well.
A couple things stand out for me with this. The whole headline is that they're looking for people that need this help. And I feel like there's always they won't have to look very far if they're looking. You know what I'm saying? Like I definitely feel like there's situations out there that people are always asking for assistance for a lot of what's going on with our utilities. And there's also other organizations out there that help people who are under below the poverty level as well that can even help pay some of those. So I'm wondering why they haven't really worked with those organizations more, or if they're working with those organizations, they need some more. They need more support. And it's also real suspect to me. It comes at a time when they're getting big scrutiny over this coal thing.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of feels a little bit like, hey, let's throw them a bone since we're not going to talk to them about this other major thing happening in their neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? Well, and then help us keep our bill up. How about you just lower the bill? I don't know. So yeah, so I don't know, just some interesting things that stand out. But like you said, for people for those of us that need some assistance, good news. There's some money there.
Yeah, and I guess you do have a point. I don't know, how much of hardship they actually are having finding these people. Like they said, they have about 39,000 customers who are at or below the poverty level. Yeah, they have way more customers than that, but 39,000 of their customers they know are at or below the poverty level. So and plus they can see who's behind on their bill. Like they see what it is. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they can have an idea of who needs it. Hey, that's very interesting. It's very interesting, and I'm kind of seeing. I kind of feel the same thing you're saying. So it's funny that you're mentioning as well, as far as like again, and we'll get into it in a second. As far as OPPD being criticized for their handling of the North Omaha coal plant, and now this pilot program is coming out. But I do like how they have it set up. Again, it's not restricting people. You can, if you do qualify for this, you can apply for other forms of aid. It does seem, I do feel like they are genuinely trying to help with this, though. At least to a certain extent. So again, if you feel like you are eligible or need help with your utility, you can go to, again, Nebraska Dollar Energy. That's dollarenergy.org, or call 1-888-282-6816. I would just drop that in the chat. But moving on, man, again, Paul just hit the nail on the head in regards to some of the criticism that OPPD has received as of late in regards to their handling of the North Omaha coal plant. And it is very interesting, again, that you mentioned, like, who are they talking to? How are they going about finding people for this pilot program? Because obviously they didn't talk to anybody for this coal plant conversation. For those who, again, don't remember or just aren't aware, the North Omaha coal plant, which is located really deep in the Florence, just before you get onto the interstate. And it's sort of kind of by Dodge Park, Missouri River area. And again, that coal plant was set to be shut down. Of course, the study has been more than enough in regards to the effects of coal on the surrounding communities and the use of coal and other fossil fuels, again, on the environment. And that was a plan was set to shut down, but they kicked the can down the road and extending it for several years, saying that there was some logistical issues about shutting a plant down and starting a new one that caused it. Although there's been conversation for years for this to get shut down, and now they're being criticized for not including the community in this conversation, something that we've kind of always been aware of. I would definitely love to hear if anybody was a part of that conversation, because there's quite a list of the people who weren't. Apparently, none of the neighborhood associations or churches adjacent to the plant were included in the OPPD's consultation period, or again, a period of time of speaking to the community. I'm not sure who they spoke to, because they didn't speak to the North Omaha Commercial Club, who serves the Florence area, nor the Miller Park Minnelusa Neighborhood Association, nor the Belvedere Point Neighborhood Association, nor the several churches surrounding St. Philip Neri, Trinity Lutheran, Church of Resurrection, Mount Olive. None of those organizations, again, were included in this conversation. OPPD elected Representative Eric Williams, who, again, I do know personally. I remember speaking to him a lot, especially around his election at the Malcolm X Memorial Foundation. But he did host a meeting earlier this year at the Miller Park Pavilion to gather feedback from constituents, according to this article. However, Mel Mason, president of the North Omaha Commercial Club, says the lack of communication is concerning, saying there's a lot of people in our area who would want to know about this. We're the ones who are affected the most. We're right here surrounding the plant. Another person in the neighborhood, John Gaithy, who's a pastor at Trinity Lutheran, said it is important that the utility involve neighborhoods closest to the plant, saying we realize the power plant feeds the neighborhood with energy, but it is important to our health as well. He says, I'm raising a 2-year-old son in the neighborhood. We can walk out our front door and see the smokestacks billowing. Asked about its outreach to affected communities, OPP did respond in a statement saying in the spirit of coming to the community instead of the community coming to us, we have interacted and met with neighborhood associations in the area around the plant and have ongoing relationships with those in the community.
Oh, yeah.
Right. However, in terms of Minnelusa, the residential area nearest to the plant, actually an area I used to live in personally, and sort of grew up in, OPPD cited its work for Habitat for Humanity for the greater North Omaha area. The statement noted the relationship it built with Precious McKesson, president of the North Omaha Neighborhood Alliance. So this might be something we might have to bring back on Monday when we speak to Precious to see, what her take is and if this is actually true. What's going on with this situation?
That's the advantage that we have. We got Precious, and then we got Kimra. We got folks that are from these neighborhood associations. Are have they been spoken to? What's been going on is a real question. Paul Philman gives a little backstory over here on YouTube. Good morning, by the way. He says major protests in 2014 led to an agreement that OPPD plant to be shut down. Here we are 8 years later. So this ain't the first time they kicked the can down the road. Is kind of the story here. So and then I'm sure that there was there's a protest all the way back in 2014, and I'm sure that people have been in their face about it all this time. It's interesting that they are acting like this is kind of a new thing. to speak to the neighborhood. Like, they've been speaking to the neighborhood. Neighborhood's been speaking to them, like they said in the article there. So interesting stuff. Also, Wanda Lewis over on Facebook says also located a couple blocks just south of the water plant. Imagine that.
There you go.
Yeah, you got coal that, and of course, there, like you said, there's been studies to the bad effects of coal in neighborhoods, and those bad effects, I'm sure, get into the water if since it's that close. But I just often think about stuff like this, like all this stuff always happens in like poor neighborhoods with people of color in those neighborhoods, and it's stuff that they would never let happen in any other neighborhoods. They'd have ran that whole industry out of town in on the west side. You know what I'm saying? Like this never happens anywhere else. It's always, why is it always in the black neighborhood that we got to be fighting for to get stuff like coal plants out of the neighborhood? You know what I mean? Like, don't know the reason why it was there in the first place. But with everything that we know about redlining and everything we know about the segregation of this city, it's no wonder that we're jammed up against stuff like coal plants, which is pretty insane. And I don't see, it's definitely a kicking of the can. You don't see there's nobody who's we look at the whole country and where we're at just with energy in general. They're not shutting no coal plants down no time soon anywhere. That's not an industry that's going away fast as most people want it to.
No, especially if the Grand Old Party has anything to say about it.
Yeah, and we're in a Republican state too. That thing is gonna stay here forever.
Yeah.
I didn't realize we had nuclear energy in Nebraska until I was like halfway through my being here, 2018 or so. I was like, oh, what? When there was when the rivers flooded and they had to shut parts of it down, I was like, what? There's nuclear energy here too. So you always got the threat of Chernobyl happening. Number one. But if they got all this clean energy happening, then why is the coal plant still rolling? Wanda Lewis says the water bins have no covers on top, wide open, not far from where the nuclear plant ones either. We don't know the repercussions of that after the flooding took place. Right? I heard they shut it down. We didn't get no news about whether or not. I think I remember us getting news about it coming back online, but it was off for a couple of years because of the damage, and we didn't really know what that did.
The effects of it,
for real. So yeah, man, and furthermore, I thought when you have like a nuclear plant and clean energy, that's you can get rid of coal at that point. So I don't know,
man. I mean, it's 2022, man. Like I'm pretty sure there are. If there was a real investment, we could easily find alternative, forms of energy. But there's all of these. Let's just call it what it is, man. These billionaires and trillionaires who are deeply, deeply rooted and their money is deeply invested in oil, gas, and other forms of these fossil fuels. That's why this Keystone pipeline situation is going on, and we'll get into that in a second. But I actually want to dive into keeping with Nebraska's attorney generals, and also speaking of investing, Nebraska's attorney general reports warns against the threat in environmental, social, and governance and investing. Again, if you're not familiar with what's termed as ESG investing, it is a form of investing that takes in consideration a company's relation to environmental justice, their environmental, how much do they pollute through their products, what are their social stances, how diverse is their working environment, the governance and performance of the area or industry that they work in. And apparently Nebraska's Attorney General Doug Peterson does not want that to be a factor when investing in businesses. The Republican lawyer said that those involved in investing need to be aware of the dangerous end game of so-called ESG investing. He maintains that it is a threat to our democratic form of government. Apparently, according to Attorney General Doug Peterson, ESG uses the sustainable developmental goals of the United Nations to quote unquote impose its hand-picked politically preferred metrics on American businesses. In the end, the report reads, the unavoidable conclusion is that ESG movement has the potential to do substantial harm to both the financial system and the society as a whole. Again, somehow Nebraska Attorney General Doug Peterson is saying that investing and considering environmental, social, and governance performance is bad for society as a whole. However, one professor, James Tierney, who teaches investment law at the University of Nebraska College of Law, says there's a robust debate about how society should encourage certain investments, but there's something anti-democratic about saying that only financial return should be considered. And he says it's very light on the law and it's very heavy on, whoa, international conspiracy. He went on to say there's nothing in this report to give me any reason to think that ESG is anything different than CRT, a boogeyman.
Ooh.
Another University of Nebraska professor, Anthony Schultz, said the report seemed to be an innovative use of the Attorney General's office, though it possibly could be related to its consumer protection role. Overall, Schultz says it was far from comprehensive and deep analysis of the issue associated with investor activism. So, again, very, very interesting. One, that the Attorney General will write a report like this, and then two, continuing with kind of the grand old party script of trying to debunk, things like global warming.
Very interesting. There's a couple of professors said that it's read like political theater, which I thought was interesting phrase. I mean, you know, I'm just language is interesting. As soon as they associated with this sounds like a boogeyman and see the same argument for CRT, kind of put it in perspective for what they're talking about here. But it is the grand old party script like we talk about all the time, and what I'm wondering, I learned a little bit about what the Attorney General's role is in the power that particular position holds, and also there's a movement across the country for Republicans to get into that particular seat. So I'm trying to wrap all that together with what this report is talking about, and trying to decipher the script. So help me out with that. Anybody in the chat have any comments on that one? Any thoughts on that? Let me know, because it seems to me that what we got to look at next is what this report means for funding, what it means for solutions. What is there's a script here, and what'll happen if they get their way? What'll happen if people pay attention? What will be the outcome of this report?
To my understanding, the outcome will be, or if the grand old party has its way, or people like Doug Peterson have their way, then ESG wouldn't be considered. So you wouldn't have, you would completely go away with ESG ratings. Therefore, companies like the Nestle's who are adding to all of the issues that we talk about, adding to the housing crisis, adding to the environmental crisis, they're going to get invested in, and they're going to get more looks, because let's just call it what it is, man. There are people, spenders, investors, people who are, investing heavily in the stock market, who do take those things in consideration, and it does impact their bottom line. So that's kind of what I think this is coming from. Again, we just had this oil spill in the Keystone pipeline. If people like AG Peterson have their way, then that oil spill will be swept under the rug, and people still invest in the energy company behind the Keystone pipeline. But again, that's not the case with this ESG as it currently exists.
Wanda Lewis in the chat says, I know you've heard about the pipeline rupture this past week at the Kansas-Nebraska borderline.
Yep.
Yeah. We definitely have it on the agenda to do an update on that. Interesting stuff. T Ren in the chat. I haven't seen this name.
Hey.
They don't like regulating nada unless it's black people and women.
There you go. I mean, other than that, leave us alone.
Wanda Lewis says, all while they still want to obtain additional land by eminent domain in order to continue with the pipeline, mostly farmland and native land.
Yep.
So yeah, this is you're taking away the regulations, so that they can continue to do business no matter what kind of environmental things happen, like the rupture that happened in Kansas-Nebraska border that just happened. And like you said, people can still invest in these companies. The companies can go on. There's no regulation. What's
I just had to just had a connection in my mind. So my wife was telling me about a conversation she had over the weekend with a friend of hers in regards to just politics, society, just having a conversation. And in the course of this conversation, the gentleman she was talking to, mind you, a brother, basically said, was talking bad about Biden and talking about, that whole Republican conversation that we've been having. It came back, and it's very interesting that he said basically Biden, the issue that he had with Biden and how he was running the administration and how, they were running the government, his administration, was they were, putting out a lot of, the way he explained it, putting out a lot of bills and laws that really didn't affect anybody's lives as far as the bottom line, the dollars. He was basically saying, they're putting out all these same-sex marriage laws and all this stuff that doesn't matter. Again, this is what the guy was saying. But he was like, but Trump, he got everybody PPPs and this, that, and the third. And it just kind of made me think, okay, this conversation we're having, why do people feel the way they feel, and why? Because I've heard this multiple times. This is not the first time that I heard it. And it really is kind of people valuing money way too much.
Valuing money?
Way too much. Again, that's the argument that I hear a lot of time about people supporting Republicans and supporting Trump is the effect that the impact that he had on the bottom line. And essentially was the mentality when Trump came in. Like, oh, Trump's a businessman. Everybody's going to make money. Trump's a businessman. We finally got a businessman, not a politician. This is good. And it just makes me think of this report. Again, according to this article, the report warns that ESG investing violates a duty by investment and trust officers to seek financial returns above other objectives. Again, to seek financial returns above other objectives, which means to me that the bottom line, the essence of the grand old party script is dollars over people, which is evident, but it's being laid out in words in black and white right here. And people who support that are supporting dollars over people.
Very interesting. I think you're hitting it on the head, man. That's definitely that's the conversation. The conversation is what kind of practical things has the Republican Party been able to do, or what did Trump do? And right, and interesting how you're explaining that, like the Democratic Party is painted out to be these people who are all about these all about
social
people,
programs.
yeah, so yeah, how people get along here socially, which if you really want to dig into that, is just another part of the financial. It's another part of the bottom line. It's another way to get to the bottom line, because that's what all the movement is for, when you have these policies that are based on social things, then that also directs where money goes. And so and it's just like it's like people fighting over the money, and one person wants to spend it here, one person wants to spend it there, and that's what it seems like to me. Wanda Lewis says they're more concerned with the cost of the product that they lost. Talking about the pipeline, she says they said prices could go up due to the cost of product lost and cleanup. So so then the bottom line is we're affected by that. Christy
Yep.
North says, remember when the indigenous water protectors told us this would happen? They were shot with rubber bullets and jailed. That's right. They were out there saying this was going to happen. And as you can see, they didn't care. And they probably knew it was going to happen because, like Wanda Lewis is saying, so what? We'll go clean it up and charge people for doing it. So,
Man.
so what? Who cares if it breaks? Brooke Allen's giving us a good morning. Good morning. Marianne Williams says, grand oligarchy party for real.
Mm-hmm.
T. Wren said he wouldn't need to have an impact on the bottom line if it wasn't for Republicans trashing the economy every time they get in office. Democrats constantly have to clean up economic messes. That's what Biden. That's kind of Biden's thing right now, is to clean up these messes by throwing a whole bunch of money at it. And that's what I don't understand. It's like how there's and it's really where the money goes, where the money's spent, because Biden's all about getting that money too. He's just trying to dole it out into different areas, but they all got the money and all want to spend the money.
Yeah, I mean, but that's kind of the issue. That's like in a lot of the commercials that I'm hearing down here. You know, we just got our election season. All the Grand Old Party commercials is stop government overspending, stop government overspending, stop government overspending. So again, it really comes down to the dollars, but what about the people?
Very, very true. A couple more comments to go through real quick. T. Ren says this country having a semblance of freedom is in spite of conservatives, not because of them. Mika Johnson says if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. Heard that.
Hey.
That's DJ Quick Banger. But Beth Davis Wilson says, Beth Davis Wilson says, good morning, all. Good morning to you.
Peace.
Pop says, I agree, buddy. When I talk to trumpets, the bottom line with them is about money. I have heard them say it for years. It's all about economics instead of about the common good. There you go. Marianne Williams says Don Bacon criticizes Biden continuously for shutting Keystone down, but hasn't uttered a peep about the spill.
Man.
Yeah, he does a lot of criticizing, but then going ahead and backing stuff like this, as far as I can see. Let's take a quick break. It is 7:46 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we have a special guest waiting in the wings. So stay tuned. We will be right back, and we'll bring on our friend from El Perico. Stay tuned. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you. I messed up your little song there. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd. We'll be right back, y'all.
Gotta let the jingle jangle.
Gotta let it jangle jangle. Welcome back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd. Man, buddy, you are a straight 90s cat, bro, because that beat was made in the 90s. I see you over there bobbing your head. I'm seeing you feeling that beat, and I'm like, it was made by some 90s cats in the 90s, for real. And, and I'm not surprised.
Oh, yeah. Come on, man. We sevens over here. The first 7 years of my life was spent in the 90s, bro. Come on, man.
So true. Best era in hip hop.
Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, our special guest is coming on in the house. We got our friend, our very good friend, one of the people that I just love the most out here in Omaha, Nebraska. Karlha Valesquez in the house from El Perico. Good morning to you. How are you this morning?
Good morning. Yes, can you hear me well? Yes.
I can hear you very well.
Perfect. Yeah. So yes, good morning. I'm fine. So now from my home, I'm great. I have a great weekend. So that's it. Good. So thank you for inviting me again here in this space.
Always love to have you on.
Yes, good.
I was telling the people that you had a little party just recently, and we had a good old time out that night. Yeah, it was good fun.
We had. Yes, in Benson, that's right.
That's right. I was like, y'all better not come to my neighborhood now and then don't call me. I crashed the party and we had a good old time. It was good.
Oh, you weren't invited, Paul? You crashed the party?
They forgot to call me, man. They was down there eating at my sushi joint and everything. I was like, let me go ahead and crash this party.
Oh, man.
I'm glad I did, because we had a great time.
Yeah, and glad First Sky Omaha was represented at the celebration. Congratulations on what second master's degree is that?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
That is in communication, transmedia communication, but it was in Spain, it wasn't here. So yes, that was good. It was a challenge for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
Mm-hmm.
How long were you working on it?
A year and a half. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, to create project and stuff. Yeah, that is a kind of like new concept now. So all the media start to working on that because yes, it's a way to diversify stories uh, in different story, another stories and products as well. Yeah, it's very beautiful, really.
Yeah. Can't wait to hear more about that. Well, I guess now that you're done with that, you're gonna have a little bit more free time. So are you already working on some no free time?
What is a free time? No, no, it doesn't exist a free time. We take sometimes and then we can consider like free, but never, no, never is a free time. I think nobody have a free time. I believe on that because even at home, you have to work and you have to do stuff. And when you want to sit down, then people calling you and then, well, that is not bad, but it's like always you have something to do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, it's
Hey,
not free time.
that's the type of mentality that gets you to two master's degrees. You know.
I was like, now I
Oh,
know.
thank you. Yeah.
Now I know why I don't have one master's degree yet. I mastered the art
Oh
of doing
no.
nothing, bro. I'll
Yeah,
do
yeah,
nothing
yeah.
in a hot minute.
No,
But we do
thank you. No,
appreciate
yes.
you.
So,
We
yeah,
definitely
thank you
appreciate
very
your
much.
work ethic and your hard work, and especially all the work that you do with El Perico and just telling the story, making sure that the voiceless have a voice. So we do appreciate
All
you.
right. So, well, I bring well, I have with me the El Perico for December edition. Is this
Okay.
one? And is for workers. Here in Omaha is sometimes very confusing how to apply. Some people don't know. It's basically focused on Hispanic community, but also we can include others community too. But this is because this is kind of like Hispanic community too. We just added. So in this edition, you can find like the jobs they are more demanding in Omaha. So it's important to prepare because when you arrive to a city, so you should know more or less how is the environment, the work environment, and also what is the most in demanding jobs as well. Because, for example, in Omaha, it's important to work. For example, they need a lot of nurse. They need also people who work in the meat packing too. And I can telling you that article was written by Bridget Fogarty.
Mm.
Um, yes, and it's just, for example, like what I can say, like truck driver. So you
Hmm.
have registered nurse. I can tell you just 10. General and operation manager, accounting and auditor,
Yeah.
carpenter, electrician, software developer, applications, elementary school teacher. It's important too. Business operator, human resources specialist. So
Yeah.
maybe in other cities is other types, maybe they need other type of jobs.
Hmm.
And yes, and also we have kind of like uh, another article about how can you be ready for an interview, you know. So something like it's important that I can say that because in America, so there are some stuff that doesn't allow at all to ask, but in our country seems like normal. For
Hmm.
example, you cannot ask somebody about is they have kids, is it like married or not. Or,
Hmm.
the kind of like details, like private details sometimes, because that might affect it in selection of the jobs.
Right.
Hmm.
So that's something like happening in our countries. Unfortunately, sometimes the boss or companies ask, for example, women, usually women, if you are a young woman and you want to have a kids, and then they think like, oh, maybe no, do you planning to get married? Why they ask that question? Out here in America, no, that's not happen. So it's something like, yes, you have to know what is your right for apply for a job. So that is important. And also I have a recipe for like Christmas dish. It's so delicious. It's called ayacas. It's a Venezuelan dish.
Mm.
uh, yes, it's here. So it's called here ayacas. So you have a recipe that you can find online. So
Okay.
it's very complex. It's not a mal, please. Don't say that. But it's similar. Yeah, it is as it's not. Tamal have their own have their own soul, but Ayaka have the other soul. So
Yes.
yes. So it's very, very nice this edition. I think it's important also for finish this year. And for the next year, the next edition, we are going to include in January everything that we were working on
Hmm.
in El Perico too. Also, the reader is going to add that. So all the articles the we have written during the year. So we will select by January, February. No, January, no February, because every um, January we do like review for whole article for whole year. So,
Yeah.
and also I'm going to include, we are going to include the some news in Latin America that we didn't include in our edition. For example, the election happened in Latin America, and there were three elections in Latin America, in Costa Rica, Brazil, uh, I forgot the other one, and Colombia too.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So also some decisions in certain countries. Yes, that we're
That
going to include.
that Brazilian election was a major story. Was a huge drama story. Like I was following it a little bit, and I was so enthralled. I was like, if he gets elected again. So yeah, I can't wait to hear you're gonna write a little bit about those elections in January.
Just mention just what happened, because I don't want to give an opinion about that. I have my own opinion. So if you want to listen, so good. The Lula da Silva won, okay, but how he won? He won like some very short, like how you call, was almost half and a half,
Yeah,
with Jair
short
Bolsonaro.
margin. Hmm.
So obviously in Brazil was really disappointed with the Jair Bolsonaro as well. But
Hmm.
like every election, there are people who support one candidate and support others. So yes, one play more with the religions organization that support him. Lula didn't have that kind of strong support, but he tried to be a little bit soft about his own speech.
Hmm.
That's his thing. So that is good. I don't know what will happen with Brazil.
Hmm.
So we don't. I don't know what will happen with Colombia now. There were protests as well, um, and also in Costa Rica was. I think the name is Chavez, Rodrigo Chavez, I guess. So yes, that is the thing. But I'm going to cover a little bit.
Yeah.
So
So I find it interesting because we have people from all those areas in Omaha, and it's interesting to see how those elections in other countries affect the lives of the people here as well. And you're able to kind of talk to them and kind of find out like how that works when you are interviewing people. Is that right?
well, yeah, well, it's yes, well, it depends on the feelings, because everybody have their own heart and then their own belief, and
Mm-hmm.
they people believe in projects. In Latin America, exists like kind of concept like the president is going to solve my problems. Okay, so
Mm.
it's going to solve my issues. It's going to fix the country. But it's a country that probably have some years of problem. And
Hmm.
it's like it's coming the new candidate, and it's like, oh no, I'm going to fix the countries.
Right.
But it's something like is every the society has to work together. It's not only with the president; it's just the society in general.
Yeah.
So in Latin America, there are something that we still have to work on.
Yeah.
But yes, Lula promised so economic development. That is everybody wants for the country, the best for the country. But we will see. He has the support for the workers party for because he's coming from the worker party.
Mm.
So and also he have a support from the farmers. That is important. Brazil export meat like beef. So it's very important for the region.
Yeah.
And also yes, that obviously every decision is going to affect others countries as well in certain in diplomacy way, but
Mhm.
we will see.
I find it interesting. What you're saying about Latin America, about how a lot of them feel like the government or the president's going to solve our problems, might be a parallel. Might be some of the reasons why I know a lot of people with Latin backgrounds that voted for Trump, that voted for like a president that was saying, "I'm going to solve this. I'm going to do this." And if you're coming from a place where you feel like the president is supposed to solve all your problems, and you got somebody like Trump who's saying he'll solve all your problems, then it makes a little bit more sense to me why I see a lot of people leaning towards the Republican Party a lot of times here, from especially or from Latin communities, even though they you dig a little deeper and you find out that Trump is also trying to close borders and so on and so forth. So it's a little disconnect sometimes, but it's just interesting to hear about other cultures because now you know why they vote like they vote sometimes. I
Mhm.
want to go back real quick to what you were saying about the job situation. We got somebody in the chat. Where was this? Michael Watt says Job Center on Ames used to do that. No longer focuses on North Omaha. So I wanted to go back to your article about the jobs and are you finding that there are resources in South Omaha that help people do some of the things that you wrote about?
No, that is good because this one is for everybody. So
Yeah.
everybody is human beings. We are human beings, and everybody has their own problems. So it's not like I don't want to be like that is for North Omaha, that is for South Omaha. Obviously, the newspaper is focused in Hispanic audience, Hispanic community, but
Mhm.
I guess people in North Omaha will dealing with the same issues. With how can I apply for a job? What is the most demanding? What can I do with my life? What can I
Mhm.
study? What is the next thing? What can I take a course or whatever? I think everybody is included in this edition.
Yeah.
So it's about jobs. It's not like job from South Omaha, job from North Omaha. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just I want to be clear about that. That is a good question.
Mhm.
But yes.
Uh-oh, you something happened, you went mute. Your microphone muted.
Oh, sorry, sorry.
There you go.
Yes, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, the magazine just dropped and then yeah,
Okay,
it was
okay.
alive. That was alive. Yes.
Amy Huffless in the chat says, but it's so subjective. Okay, with government overspending on defense department in Mar-a-Lago. Looks like you're talking a little bit about
Trump.
yeah, Trump. There's just the politics and the reasons why people
Carla Huepa.
uh
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Well,
Well,
I just want to it yes, probably in certain areas that you mentioned about Trump, I don't like sometimes to talk about politics in front of everybody, but definitely for me, so both party are kind of like similar because obey to just the nation. Okay, so each one have like more probably is more like for spending resources on social, and then the other one is more for business. You know, it's just depend. And then obviously some we coming from countries that have crisis, so we have limitations. The same opportunity that you have here in United States, we don't have. For example,
Mm.
like you can get credit, you can buy a car easy, or for example, easy. That's something like make you happy. That's it the definition for successfully and happiness. You know,
mhm,
you have to because the university, the life just give you that idea like you are successful if you study, you're successful if you have a house, you are successful if you have a car. So that is something like a pressure, you know,
mhm,
from some people. So yes, it's bad. For example, I can talk with my country. So it's a crazy economy. So I it's crazy. So I still like don't understand even being here because it have changed a lot. They delete like 14 zeros to the currency, and now I don't know how much value something. I don't know how much is everything. But
Mm.
the thing is like the society need to buy stuff to feel, you know, in the same position to others.
mm,
So that probably is making like an idea to, hey, I don't want to live that again, I don't want to suffer that economic collapse. I would like that my money invest in something like for develop the economy. So maybe that is why certain Latinos also depend on what countries, not
Yep.
everybody. It's depend on the country, depend on the belief. So it's not like I cannot put everybody in the same box because yes, it's very diverse.
Yep.
Unfortunately, in America, so there are a polarization a little bit, no?
Yes,
And
definitely.
that is
A lot.
something like that is something like making a little bit difficult because you cannot think like, hey, I like that idea, but I don't like your idea, but I like a little bit your idea. So it's not like that. It's just like, oh, you have to think the same like me, because if you don't think the same like me, so you are you believe in that thing, or you are like that, or the people tag you are like that, you blah blah blah, and then no, I'm not. So I used to support some ideas, but I believe that that idea when they were applied wasn't wasn't right, and can change my mind. So hey, sorry, I buy your product, but your product wasn't so good. So now I have to change other service. It's like that. So sometimes people are being very radical, and this is sad because we aren't living in the same society. We want the best for. I don't have kids, but I would like the kids have the best education. I would like the kids have the best future, because that is the new generation, and then it's coming, the other generation is coming, and obviously we won't be for long, but we want the best thing for the society. No crazy society, but we want the best society.
Well, Karlha, I think you're gonna live forever, so you'll be. We appreciate you coming. It's 8:04. It's 8:06 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, if you're just joining us, we have Karlha Valesquez from El Perico on the line with us right now and having a great conversation about what's going on North and South Omaha. Michael Watts in the chat is saying most programs moving to South Omaha Job Center bought a new building there. So interesting. Yeah, we'll have to dig into that and see how that correlates to everything. And I'm
Oh,
sure. Mhm.
yeah, I have to say sorry, Paul. The is going to this year is going to, yeah, they are building the it's kind of the heartland workforce. They are
Mm.
developing like a building where it's having like others companies, organization that will help people to um, to get a job. That is because the fondos ARPA, the for ARPA funds,
Yes.
So well, that is well was part of that, but it was for the city of Omaha
Mm.
developed, but that is based on the impact for the pandemic. Okay,
Right.
so it's just based on the impact. They have a study and then decide. You can find that information online. So where was the places that were more impacted economically? So that is why we want to develop more economically, and Latinos have more like needs in that thing. So
Mm.
yes.
Okay, that's interesting. I also understand it to be that because we're in the north side is also going through the same thing. I think there was a Heartland workforce center
Yeah,
in.
it's in north too. There are one in north, but there wasn't in south. There are one
Okay.
in North
So there
Omaha,
was
and then
already
in
one in
yeah.
north and not one in south. Okay, so now there's one in
Mm-hmm.
both areas. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And again, that's they're just because those buildings are in those areas doesn't mean that people can't go to them from anywhere
Right.
for the same kind of services. We all, we try to promote East Side because we both North and South Side have some of the same issues, like Karlha was just saying. So yeah, so that's interesting that we can kind of share that. I'm really interested in reading that. I didn't get a chance to read your article there. I need to check that out, but I really like that idea of here's the industries, here are the jobs that are out there, here are the jobs
Yep.
that are paying better wages, living wages. Here's the demand. So, and then we have all these resources out here, like the Metropolitan Community College and all these other places where you can go get the skills to be able to go to those jobs. Again, we always talk about Tim Clark and Johnny Rogers doing the work over there at Metro to get people scholarships in order to be able to go to Metro and get those skills and go get those jobs. I'm not in the market for looking for a job, but every once in a while I'll go look through to see what jobs are there, because that's the way to tell about what your city's industry is about, and be able to suggest to people, these are the high paying jobs, go for those, so very interesting what you wrote there. I'll have to go back and check your article out. Mhm.
Quickly, I want to say one announcement. So El Perico also is developing like one section. It's called Immigration Guide. It's not only for, I have to say, we are human beings. So obviously it's for immigrants, but somebody misspelled my name. So it's not only for immigrants, but that can be a sources also for people who living in Omaha. Because even though the condition status an immigrant, everybody is human being. So like I said, people have needs. Maybe that sources doesn't work for you, but work for somebody else that you know. And that is something like it's important to know. It's not only for it's for immigrants, but also can include other people who living in Omaha. So this is a guide that we are developing with the Perico team also. So we are going to see how it's going to work on that. That's it.
So is that guy gonna like cover things like, and like I feel like everything like election, jobs, housing, like it really just help navigate?
Yes, it's to navigate. For example, like something what people do you think need the immigrants? For example, how to get a house, how to buy, how to enroll your kids in school. But that is something like everybody have, but some people here in America they know already because they have that kind of like history with
Well,
having that. Some people, I say some people,
yeah, I was about to
so
say.
others not, but some people are new in Omaha too. Need to know, for example, how can I pay my taxes? How can I and also it's going to include the stories of immigrants. What Omaha to segregate North. So okay, so also can help to people to how to move in Omaha, to present Omaha as a city and as an alternative. So we are going to include Bridget Fogarty is working on that. So she started working on that. You can see also in the Reader and El Perico some articles about that, about, for example, how to the issues that you can get for enroll your kids. If you want your kids be in a bilingual school, that's are the school. Alternative for the education, alternative for careers too. Everything involved like immigrants too. For example, this one for jobs, we can include that too, because it's part of like immigrant and human being. Like we are
Right,
talking about
right.
that. So also people from other states can have can know as well about that. But this is focused more for immigrant because we are going to explain also the visas, what kind of visas, what is the some legal status, so legal stuff, so the consequence for do something, like we try to do the best that we can to build a very beautiful material for everybody.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate that you're coming from that perspective as a immigrant yourself. If I'm not mistaken, from Venezuela.
I'm from Venezuela,
Okay.
Caracas.
Okay. So yeah, just a person who is not natively from United States, but understands that this is information that everybody can use. We talk about, we actually had a conversation about immigrants and just kind of some of the resources that they receive when they come in. And I think, the mentality when people are giving information to immigrants, like you understand that they don't know, as far as how this society is ran and things like that. But I think being people from this country, we don't know either. We're just so happen to be born here and have to figure it out as life goes. So I'm definitely appreciate that you mentioned like this is information that everybody can use. Not everybody knows how to enroll their children in school. Not everybody knows how to get a job. Not everybody knows how to, get into a housing. They just, these are things that I had to figure out. And yes, mom, I had resources, but that information isn't just readily available. You kind of have to figure it out. So, it's interesting that you mentioned that.
Also, before we let you go, I just want to remind people that the El Perico is not just in Spanish; it's also translated in English as well.
Yep.
And so this information can be for everybody. There's all kinds of immigrants. We have a very huge immigrant population in North Omaha too, from areas of Africa. These kind of articles can benefit everybody. That's why they put them in English and Spanish in the magazine. So definitely go get your copy of the Reader slash El Perico, and check out these articles. And we will be talking about some of the new things that's coming up. Like you said, we'll probably have Bridget on again to talk about to further talk about these things. But we also like to have you back again soon to be able to talk about some of the things that you're into and writing, and all the good news you bring us from that side of town. So we appreciate you coming in.
No, thank you very much. I'm so glad to be here. And then, yes, I enjoy that. It's so much fun also to be with you as well. I love it. But thank you, guys. Thank you very much. I hope everybody can, oh my God, yes, on my English. So it's just I hope everybody found that space very important, interesting, and informative. That is my idea. So I wish to be with you again next time. So next year, probably, yeah,
Yeah,
2023. So I wish you everybody have a happy holidays and a Merry Christmas as well. But holidays for include everybody, and I wish to everybody have a great year. So I hope 2023 will be amazing and everybody can have a job, like increase the money as well, and have a good health, because without health we cannot do anything.
Health as
You
well.
know,
Gotta
we
have
need
good health.
health. Yes, and
So,
be happy. Smile, everybody. That.
speaking of good health, because this always keeps me healthy. Uh, Ron's Reviews is asking best place to find tacos. What's your opinion on that?
Oh God, no taco. Well, no. The best tacos are in your home, probably. But I'm
Oh,
so bad for
See.
tacos. So
yeah,
I'm so bad for tacos. But I guess there are so many places.
yeah.
They are amazing for tacos.
It sound like we need to go to your,
But
sound like
try
we need to go to your
pupusas.
house.
Why you try pupusas? Pupusas are delicious too. I love
Oh,
pupusas.
Yeah.
I
I
love
got
that.
I got in a car wrecked over some pupusas one time. I'll tell you that story another time. We're gonna let you go. Thanks for coming in. We'll see you soon.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye bye. All right, ladies and
There you
gentlemen,
go.
Karlha Valesquez, El Perico. That's what's up, man. Really appreciate her coming through.
Yeah.
And we'll jump into the chat in just a minute. In the meantime, between time, let's take a quick break. We'll come right back. It is 8:17 right now in Omaha, Nebraska. If you believe in the concept of time, First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All
Yeah.
be Buddi3 Da Gawd. Stay tuned. We'll be right back, yo.
Hey.
Welcome back. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All be Buddi3 Da Gawd. All of you chat chimers, all of you ghost listeners, thanks for joining us. Thanks for chiming into the chat. I really appreciate everybody that's chiming in today. Michael Watts has a lot to say today. He says Omaha is too segregated. North and South do not work together. Totally agree. And that's one of our goals is to make North and South work a little bit closer together. We share some of the same problems, the same issues, and all on the east side. So that's what's up.
Yeah. It starts in the mind.
There you go. He says, my opinion, immigrant population eager, our community not so much. Yeah, immigrant population a little bit more eager, our community not so much sometimes. I definitely agree with that, man. It's time to kind of fire that up and bring some black excellence around, and that's one of our major goals. Amy Huffley says, I think it's more of a religious thing in Latin America versus fix all your problems, my opinion. I think it's,
I was
go ahead.
I was kind of thinking that.
Well, I was thinking more, some Latin countries, other Latin
Mhm.
countries aren't so much. So just like Karlha was saying, just like we always say, they're not a monolith.
Right, 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 right.
So some countries, and it really is, I think, like the political, it's religious too, but some places, like for instance, what's going on in Brazil right now is way more populist than it is religious, as far as their what they want out of their leadership. So but they're still looking at that brother like he's going, like he's going to just solve everything. So there's a lot to it, I think, for sure. Michael Watts says, cannot mention Tim Clark or Johnny Rogers in the same sentence of opportunity. Okay.
Mm.
I think there's a little bit of opportunity there for some of those scholarships that didn't exist before, for certain people. So everybody could be doing more, but I think that's you can't discount the fact that they do have that going on. Wanda Lewis says something that I notice about young people when it comes to jobs, especially young people with the degrees. They're always looking to advance, and they don't become complacent when it comes to job. Older people will stay on a job for years, and often are locked into retirement programs. Many of the retirement programs are not being offered to new employees, so they go for the money now and keep it moving. That's definitely the trend.
Yeah.
Definitely the trend. It's not even a stigma anymore for you to be like, "Well, I was here for a year. I'm going somewhere else because they offer me more money." It's not even a thing. So that's kind of what's up. Change, she said, changing of the times, most def. Brother Valentine says, loving that beat. Yeah, man, me too. Where did I just
Who's
find?
that?
I'm not sure who that is. I think it might be. I'm not sure who that is, bro. I gotta do a little research on that. It's on the list. I got it from Augie Kid, but I don't think he did it.
Hmm.
I think it's that other brother that we sometimes play on here.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Jose Knox, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. It sounds like Jose Knox.
There you go. Rose Review says Americans are colonized, immigrants are not. You
Mm,
think immigrants are not colonized?
uh, I would have to disagree with that. There's a lot of colonized minds, not just. I mean, America wasn't the only colonized country. Like America, Spain, and Portugal. Like, there's a reason why South American countries speak Spanish and Portuguese. That's not a native language to those areas.
That's true. Maybe we're talking about American colonization. Though that's kind of a different one than Spanish colonization or any other place.
Is it? It's still the transatlantic slave trade.
Got a point.
It wasn't just America.
Okay, got a point. They do. I definitely think they got different styles, but yeah, it's all coming from the same place. I don't know.
Catholic, yeah, yeah. I can go on. I'm going on.
Michael Watts says same money, new person, name on scholarship. Some of Johnny Rogers' scholarships are Johnny Rogers money. I know that. But yes, there are. I think that from what I remember talking to Tim, there was some of the other places they were getting scholarship money from is the same organizations that the same family foundations and stuff like that. Um, yeah, yeah, some of that definitely is the case, but
I mean, is that necessarily a bad thing?
I mean, like I said, it kind of depends on how you use it. Um, I personally like the idea. I mean, I feel the freedom in reading something like that article in El Perico, finding out that a coding job is there's five or six coding jobs out here maybe, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, well, and what are they paying? They're paying above a living wage. Okay, cool. Let me see where I can get some coding training, and I look around town and maybe Metro has it. And so I go there and say, "Hey, I'm a black 49-year-old cat. Is there scholarships for me?" And somebody finds one. I use that to get my degree and whatever, and then go get that job. I mean, it doesn't feel like there's a hand out here moving things. It feels like I made those choices. So I don't know. I think it's all in how you use it. Where does it come from? Sometimes that has a price tag on it, or a stigmatism on it, or a set of goal values or something on it. True, but also you know, also it's how you use it. Go out there and get those resources are there. The money's sitting on the table, so why not get it and do what you want to do with it? Is what I'm.
Right, right.
So anyway, Rose Review is talking about colonization again. Americans are systematically colonized. Colonizers were given a clean state when they arrived here. Jillian Post says colonizers are primarily lighter skinned, no matter where they come from. Colorism is a different kind of ism, but just as common. Man, so true.
Yep. And speaking of Brazil, I mean, colorism is huge in Brazil.
Big time.
Huge.
Amy Huffley says, maybe let's not ask of her about best tacos to eat. She has more value than that. We always like to throw a little where's the best wings, where's the best taco question in there. So I didn't mind it. But I will say this: they better quit staying at your house because they don't. I couldn't knock on the door. They don't. They better quit messing with me. Carol Blood will have me knocking on the door. Where they
call at your door like I'm here for the tacos and stuff.
Yes, and Amy, if you know us, you know that we value Karlha Valesquez highly. She's one of our favorite people. Yeah. And super intelligent, I mean, this woman she's more educated than all of us right now, but she got 2 master's degrees.
Man.
And yeah, she does her thing. So
speaks multiple languages.
Man. It's always a fascinating conversation talking to her. So I'm glad. I'd like to get her on and talk to her about some things beyond just the news and on Newsday. Because she's really got some theories and some things that she observes here that's really profound. I like to talk to her about some of those things and some solutions in her opinion. I know she was representing Perico in the reader and stuff right now, but I want to talk to her about her opinions about some things too. So at some point, so
definitely
most def have her back. Yep. 8:26 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, but you got time to slide one little story in before we get to our next guest.
Actually, we are expecting our guest from the reader coming on, so let's give the reader some shine. They did report on the water.
No, Flatwater Free Press.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you. I meant Flatwater Free Press, but I said the reader. Flatwater Free Press, who did do the report on water. So let's talk about that really quickly. Again, a lot of people had a lot of comment about the oil spill that went down. So just giving an update. Again, we did report earlier this week that there was a oil spill from the Keystone pipeline. Again, this is not the Keystone XL pipeline. It's a part of the same company, but again, this is just the smaller Keystone pipeline. But nonetheless, there was a rupture near the Kansas-Nebraska border, and the oil spill actually has now led into a creek, which is causing the pipeline to close down. Canada-based TC Energy, which owns and operates the pipeline, actually said it will shut down its pipeline system on Wednesday night following a drop in pipeline pressure. It said oil spilled into a creek in Washington County, Kansas, about 150 miles northwest of Kansas City. The company said on Thursday that they estimate the spill size to be about 14,000 barrels, and said the affected pipeline segment had been isolated and the oil contaminated at the site with booms or barriers. It did not say how the spill occurred. However, Zach Pastora, who lobbies with the Kansas legislature for the Sierra Club, says people are sometimes not aware of the havoc that these things can wreak until the disaster happens. And apparently this may be actually one of the largest, if not the largest, oil spills of the Keystone pipeline. And TC Energy did say that they have set up environmental monitoring at the site, including around-the-clock air quality monitoring, saying our primary focus now is the health and safety of on-site staff and personnel, the surrounding community, and mitigating risk to the environment. Of course, oil prices did briefly surge as a response to this. I think someone in the chat had mentioned that with the cost of a barrel of oil for near-term contracts rising actually about 5% above the cost of oil contracts further into the future. So we could see more spikes for oil and gas prices moving forward. But again, is this a I told you so moment?
Yeah, man, there's a lot to say on this. Like I said, Wanda Lewis a little earlier were like, yeah, they're going to hike the prices for the cleanup. And I also read in another article that the spill was about the size of filling up an Olympic swimming pool size pool.
Man.
So a lot of oil. For them, they shut it down in order to get this thing capped or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So what is that going to do to the water on the border there? All these are questions that we have yet to get answers to, because we got to see what this means. But I am definitely getting this vibe that they knew that there was going to be risks. They knew there was going to be leaks. They didn't care. They'll just clean it up and then charge you for cleaning it up. So Why stop? Why would that stop any business on their end? So anyway, we can talk about it further. It is 8:30, coming up on 8:30 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we will invite our special guest in, and man, she turned out to be like the water expert around here too, for real. So Natalia Alamdari in the house from Flatwater Free Press. Natalia, how are you this morning?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good to see you again. Feels like it's been a while.
Yeah, a couple weeks at this point, I think.
Okay. How's everything going? How was your weekend?
It was good. I had some holiday parties, did some shopping, starting on my Christmas shopping. I'm a little behind, but yeah,
Okay.
it was good.
Okay, that's what's up. So getting ready for the holidays. I guess you're a holiday lights kind of lady then, huh?
Say that again?
So you're a holiday lights kind of person, huh?
Yeah, no, I like lights. I have lights all around my apartment right now. I don't have a tree, but I have a lot of Christmas lights.
Okay, all right.
Okay, getting into the spirit.
Yeah,
Here
trying
for it.
to.
Yeah. Are you? I know you're a native Texan. Will you be going home for the holidays? Will you be leaving us for a little while, or?
Yeah, I'll be going home for about a week or so. So it'll be
Okay.
good to see family. I was sick on Thanksgiving, so I didn't really get to hang out with my family. So
Sorry to hear that.
hopefully Christmas will go smoother.
Hopefully for you. We definitely appreciate all the work that you do, and as a journalist, I know it's a constant hustle, chasing leads and trying to just trying to get the story. So we do appreciate the work that you're doing, and are happy that you'll be able to go see your family for a little time. That's definitely also important. So yeah. Hopefully that does go smoothly for you. But we are here to talk about the story, and you did recently release a story on flatwaterfreepress.org. Definitely go check that out, y'all. Talking about some art in McCook. Is that correct? Can you give us a little background on this story? Of course, we're a couple of artists here, so definitely love to hear what's going on in rural Nebraska as far as the arts.
Yeah, definitely more of a lighthearted story than what I'm normally talking about on here.
Yeah.
But I spent the day at it's this art gallery called the Sixth Floor Project in McCook. It's on the sixth floor of this 100-year-old building. The floor is just completely, it's just like a gutted concrete floor, but it is completely covered in all these different pieces of art, probably hundreds of different pieces. You got sculptures, weaving, painting, sketches. Just it's really incredible. Like when the elevator doors open, you're kind of like in shock for a moment. But the collection was brought here by this couple, Chad Graff and Joanne Falkenberg. They're both originally from Nebraska. Chad is from McCook, but they spent most of their adult lives living in California, Arizona, and kind of over the course of the past 5-6 years of just like watching the country, watching politics kind of being in the Midwest and the coast, like switching between those two spaces, they kind of decided, we want to do something that can bring these two parts of the country together. And to them, these big art collectors, they were like, art is what makes sense. So they decided, let's just move our collection to McCook. Let's share it with the place that we're from. So it was really cool to see. I highly recommend visiting to anyone who happens to be driving in that direction.
Yeah. I'm sure a lot of people aren't going to, McCook for art galleries and museum visits and a lot of, cultural things like that. So what's kind of what is the response, I guess, is the word from the public or from the community, or how do they view this gallery?
Yeah. I was actually speaking to a local artist about that, and the way he kind of put it, he was like, I have yet to hear a person say, I don't want this here. Like, it's definitely something that no one is against, but at the same time, it's very contemporary art. So maybe not everyone gets it, but over time and like seeing it and just like exposing yourself to it, people come around to appreciating the art that's there. But they've been doing a lot with kids, like students can come visit, talk with whichever artists have a display. I know they've had visits from a native artist that they have a lot of art from, a man from I believe he's from Kansas. I don't think he's based in Kansas anymore, but he's like 90 years old, still painting, still sculpting. He was talking to students. They've been doing camps. I know just from their Facebook page, it looked like they had like a piano recital in the gallery. But yeah, it definitely seems to be something that once you figure out what it is, there's definitely an appreciation of it. And they say they've had visitors come from within Nebraska, and also, you know, friends who live out of state who happen to be passing through. But yeah, it definitely will be interesting to see like how they're able to kind of scale it up over the coming years, whether they're able to get certified as a creative district. That would come with like access to like state grants and things like that. So yeah, it'll be really cool to see how it grows over the coming years.
Interesting. Yeah, compared to some of those heavy stories that you've been working, it sounds like you were able to go have a good time on this one.
Yeah, it's definitely a change of pace. The thing I forgot to mention too is like part of the like connecting the Midwest to the coasts aspect of things that they're working on is like bringing artists in to like have residencies. They own another building in town where there's just like empty. It used to be kind of like a lodging space, like in the 40s. And they've kind of turned it into like an art studio space. There's, I think, living quarters for them in the building. So, you know, just bringing artists from around the country to McCook to work on their craft in just like a very different place than what they might be used to.
There you go, buddy. There's the connection. That's exactly what First Sky Omaha seventh people in the sevens wants to do. That everything that we talk about doing, bringing artists in from the West Coast, from Atlanta, having facilities here to house them, you know, doing residencies, making those kinds of connections. So that is super interesting to us. That's exactly what I'm definitely going to have to take a trip out to McCook now and talk to them.
And the fact that it's happening in McCook, you know, is very, very interesting. Yeah. For you, seeing that, and I'm looking at some of the pictures, definitely some beautiful art, some profound art. I mean, you would never think that you'll see some pieces that you might find in the Smithsonian or New York's, you know, Museum of Modern Art in McCook, Nebraska, but there are some pieces there. What was the most kind of profound thing for you, you know, coming out of once seeing this gallery in?
I mean, you just gonna sit over there and enjoy the art and not share your screen with us.
Okay. Well,
I could do a live stream from the gallery. That's actually a good idea.
Hey, that would have been nice. That would have been nice. But yeah, I'll share a few of the pictures here.
Cold blooded, man. I'll see how
again, go to flatwaterfreepress.org to read the article yourself. But yeah, these are some of the photos from the article. As you can see, a lot of beautiful art. A lot.
Yeah. Most of their collection is like the niche of art is called outsider art, which that is I'm gonna butcher the actual definition, but you know, art from people who aren't classically trained. There's more specifics to it that I'm going to mess up, so I don't want to define it right now. But they have a lot of work from this studio in California that they connected with when they were living out there, where it's an art studio for people with different developmental disabilities. And it's just really incredible to see like how they communicate through art. They have a few pieces by this one man. He's nonverbal, but his art is just like writing the same like words and phrases over and over again. And if you look at it, you can like see specific words jump out. But when you look at it from far away, it just looks very like abstract and just like really cool overlapping lines. There's another woman. It fascinated me. I'm obsessed with her art now. She is blind, but what she does is she takes like these pins and puts sequins and beads onto the pins and then pins it onto actually the little heads in the picture that you have right now, the one in the back is one of her pieces of art. I don't know if the one closer to us is, but she pins like all these sequins onto these foam shapes, and she can feel the temperature of the color like through her hands, kind of like a synesthesia, but through your fingertips. I don't know how it works, but it's just so fascinating to me. Like color just has like a very like temperature orientation to her, and that's how she's able to like know what she's pinning onto these shapes.
Wow.
Yeah, this is really, really cool. And Chad and Joanne, they can talk about it for ages because they have like a lot of the artists that they have work from, they've met personally, they know them personally. So they have that really deep connection to like, the person's story, what inspired the art, things like that. So it was just really, really
That's
great to write about.
Yeah, I can't wait to check that out. That's interesting.
Man.
Wow. Brother Valentine in the chat says applaud residency option, well thought out. Yeah, man, I really feel like that's the lick right there, and I'm very interested in what they're doing with that model because that's
it's a partnership with Maple Street Construct, I think. So just will be cool to see what other artists they're able to bring out. I think they just had 2 people. I don't remember the exact total number that they've had so far.
Okay.
Well,
appreciate you going out there and checking that out and doing some of that detailed reporting that you do on it. Love to see you on other subjects.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially art. It's hard to cover. It's hard to cover art sometimes. And it's interesting to see. Like the little bit that I've read, I didn't read the whole article yet, but the little bit I read, I'm like, yeah, I got to dig into this deeper. So we really appreciate that for sure. In the meantime, also, I can keep on talking about this art for the rest of the show, actually. But what are some of the other things that you're working on that's been standing out for you right now?
Let me think. I'm really in planning mode for next year. So there are a couple of things that might be a little too early on to reveal on this show.
No teaser.
What was that?
No teaser at all. No,
I might have teased it already. I'm kind of poking into like asset forfeiture and like what happens if you get pulled over and the cops think you have drug money on you. But that's a little squishy right now. What else am I working on? A lot of different things. I basically have to, my plan for next year, I need to take my giant list and really like narrow it down, see what comes next. But trying to write more stories like the art story in the sense of like, this is something from a place that you don't normally hear about.
Yeah, I like that. I do know that we talked to Matt Wynn and the guys over there a lot, and I know that they pay attention to a lot of the stuff that we're talking about here on the show, and they get a lot of feedback from from our chat chimers and some of the ghost listeners and stuff like that. And but we would love to be even more direct in some suggestions or some things that we're thinking about. Is there a place in Flatwater Free Press, maybe on the website somewhere where you can put suggestions in and things like that?
Yes, actually, I want to give you the right information. So let me pull that up really quick. If you go to our website if you scroll all the way down, and maybe this is at the top too, but there should be a link that says got a tip. And if you go there you go. Perfect. You can submit a story idea through there, or you can also email us directly at tips@flatwaterfreepress.org. Either way, it'll find its way to us.
And you can submit a story idea there and all that good stuff. That's cool. Right on. Okay, good. I'm glad to know the front end on that. We've been dealing with the back end. I never even thought to ask about where the front end was for chat chimers and those people that want to be able to go in and talk about some things. So
I think you can reply to our newsletter too, because I see those replies from time to time. And in the newsletter, there should be a link to the same page that you just pulled up. So yeah, mostly just that page, or I try and make myself pretty reachable too. I get direct emails from people every now and then.
Okay.
And what's the process you guys have for your editorial meetings? What you decide is going to be written about, and so on and so forth. Is it really just you're able to throw out the ideas or listen to the stuff that you find intriguing yourself, and then say, "I want to work on that." How does that process work?
I think it's kind of a combination. Some stories that I've written this year have been assigned. Some have been things that I've like stumbled across myself. And as far as like figuring out, you have like a giant pot of ideas, and figuring out like which specific things you want to delve into, that kind of turns into, more of that collaborative process of deciding, okay, like what is most newsworthy right now? What is most interesting? What is doable even? But that kind of is just like a always evolving kind of conversation. Nothing's like set in stone, we kind of just adapt day to day.
There you go. I know that you went out to where the war is happening. You went to areas close to it. Any updates from those areas, or from the stories that you told when you were there?
I don't know specifically. I was actually just talking about this weekend with someone. I wanted to check in with the Lincoln group. I know that they have kind of, I think the way they're running the hotel project has kind of shifted around since I was there. But I don't know the specifics of it. I do know one of the women that I talked to pretty often and still do check in with, she was able to move out of the hotel into an apartment, and her husband was actually able to join them in Poland, which is pretty incredible. He had, for medical reasons, they were able to let him leave the fight. He was like on the front lines. So I know that was something very scary for her, and she's just very happy to have him home with them, or in Poland with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing experience. When the war is over, it'll be a story to tell, that just amazing that you were able to go and bring back some stories about this, and accompany the people that went from Nebraska. So applaud.
Yeah. And I would love to visit, like, under safer circumstances one day. Hopefully that is a possibility.
Yeah.
Hopefully. But I don't really have too many more questions. Again, people, go check out flatwaterfreepress.org. Again, if you have any tips, any stories that you think they might want to cover, or might be in their wheelhouse, again, check them out. At the bottom, there's a got a tip link. Go ahead and click that link, fill out the form, and send it on in. Anything else you want to leave the people with, or anything else that's going on in your world that you want to share?
I mean, nothing specific other than, have a great rest of the holiday season, everyone. And literally the tip line, send us any and all thoughts. I love seeing what people have ideas about.
Yeah. Love that.
There you go. Safe travels.
Yes. Thank you. Have a good Christmas. Good all holidays.
Thank you.
Have a good one. All right. Love it. News Monday. So there you go. The latest from Flatwater Free Press. Definitely check out the website there, and put some suggestions in as much as you can. I hope I didn't cut her off. I thought I saw her talking a little bit more when I hit the button.
It was kind of abrupt a little bit.
Okay. My bad. Let's take a quick break. We'll come right back. First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. I'll be Buddi3 Da Gawd. All of you chat chimers, ghost listeners, stay tuned. Going down. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Your dreams are your ticket out.
Hey.
First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Man, it's going down. And Brother Valentine says, you guys ever thought about making a beat compilation and selling it for fundraiser? We think about it all the time, my brother.
Are you reading my mind?
Yeah, we're going to work on it, man. As a matter of fact, I'm going to get a hold of you a little later on the day, man, see if we can catch that call. We got some things in the works, and I'm very, very much looking forward to this break because there's some stuff that we want to definitely tighten up and get to the next level on, and we'll be spending that month doing that for the most part. And again, the break is happening for our last show for season 4 is Friday, and so the break will be happening on the 16th, and then we'll be back January 16th. In the meantime, though, in between there somewhere, I want to try to throw a little Chad Chimers kickback and see if we can all kind of get together face to face and chat it up, man. Have a little good time, man. Bring the DJ out again, all that kind of thing, man. Just kind of vibe out. So meet some of the new members, some of the new people that are reoccurring members of the channel now. So shout out to them. Thanks for people that are hitting that donate button and becoming recurring members of the channel. I'd love to meet the ones that I don't know and see again the ones that I do know. Might be awesome. So I'd love to do that. We'll have to hit up Mayor Sanchez. It's time to do a little backyard boogie if we can. I don't know if I'm getting too cold for all that though. We might have
to
still find some indoors things to do.
Indoor boogie.
That's right. Basement boogie out here.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. If you are on YouTube or Facebook, do us a favor, share the show. And if you've missed any parts of the show today, you can always go back a little later on YouTube and check out the rerun version. Just hit the live button. If you go to the YouTube channel, you got to hit the live button to see all the live shows, so you can go back in time and see what's going on there for sure. Yeah, man. That's right, Brother Valentine. Too cold for outdoors. It's getting a little chilly out. There's supposed to be thunderstorming here later on tonight.
Ooh.
Temperature dropping, and then I'm sure that we'll have some snow or something stupid by the end of the week. Was trying to get through the show without cussing, but I had to say the snow word. So it is what it is. Sorry about that, man. Your virgin ears.
Yeah. Come on. Gotta warn me.
Yeah. So anyway, thanks for joining us again, and good stuff today. Let us know what you did over the weekend. Let us know if you got plans this week, what your holiday plans are coming up. Love to hear about what you guys got going on, and we'll definitely be checking on everybody here now that the temperature is going to drop. Just don't forget to check on your loved ones, old ones, the young ones, the four-legged ones. Everybody, check on everybody. It's about to get cold out here, I guess.
Yeah. Check on your peoples, y'all. Man, just about 8 minutes left out. You want to jump into a quick lightning round before we get up out of here?
Yeah, let's do that for sure.
Yeah. Zooming by. Again, big shout out to our guests for coming through. Thank you. And let's go ahead and dive into it. We don't really have too many haps. It is a Monday, but if you have anything going on this week or any meetings and anything we should look out for throughout this week, definitely feel free to drop that into the chat as well. But jumping into our lightning round, we'll kick off with actually some money. Continue to follow the money. Nebraska and Douglas County are expected to get $22 million to build up their public health workforces and data systems. That's going to be spent over the next 5 years. The Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services will receive nearly $13 million, and Douglas County Health will receive about $9 million from the Federal Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The money is a part of U.S. public health grants recently announced by the CDC. Most of the funding comes from the American Rescue Plan Act. So these are ARPA funds. A total of 107 public health departments, including all 50 states, receiving funding. The Douglas County Department, representing Omaha, was one of 48 localities that were awarded funding as well. It is interesting. We talked about the initiative from the Douglas County Health Department and the designation of health as being I forget the race disparity or again, they acknowledge the connection between race and health for certain individuals. And Jamin Johnson, who is the health equity advisor for the Douglas County Health Department, said the federal government has never before made an investment in the basic operations of local and state health departments. So hopefully, this might mean more services, especially in North Omaha, which recently, we lost our hospital in the area. So, how will this impact? We'll definitely keep our eye on. I'm not really seeing any concrete plans from this, but the department is working to align its workforce plans with the Douglas County Board of Health's 2020 declaration. Again, that racism is a public health crisis in the county. So there will be some funds directed towards that. Exactly how, what that will look like, we'll definitely continue to keep our eyes on that. We might have to have our Brother Johnson come back on the show to talk about his new position.
Yeah, good idea.
In other news, speaking of health, continuing to look at this health audit of the Medicare Advantage health plan. Again, it was reported last month that auditors uncovered millions of dollars in improper payments, citing overcharges of more than $1,000 per patient over a year on average. So by nearly 24 health plans, the hardship request, together with other documents obtained by the reporting agency, shed light on the secretive audit process that Medicare relies on to hold accountable the increasingly popular Medicare Advantage plans. Of course, reacting to the audit findings, State Senator Chuck Grassley from Iowa called for an aggressive oversight to recoup those overcharges, saying CMS must aggressively use every tool at its disposal to ensure that it's efficiently identifying Medicare Advantage fraud and working with the Justice Department to prosecute and recover improper payments. So again, we might see some court cases come out of this situation. Again, we were trying to kind of pin down who is responsible for this. Are it the insurance companies? Is it the doctors themselves? Who are kind of responsible for this? So we'll also keep our eyes on this as again, state senators and elected officials are calling for oversight and some accountability in this situation. In other news, again, shout out to the champ, Terrence Bud Crawford, knocked out David Avansanya in the 6th round to retain his WBO welterweight belt. Again, we're looking to see what were the numbers. What was the show out? Did anyone watch the fight at home? Did you make it out to the fight? What was the support looking like? I mean, from the pictures, it looks like definitely another jam-packed crowd. Of course, the support for Bud Crawford has not waned. So, big shout out to Bud Crawford, continuing to make Omaha proud and continuing to be a household name. Just still looking forward to that Errol Spence fight. So,
yeah, man,
we'll see.
We'll definitely see. Just to jump in real quick, I did find a little bit of news on that, which is interesting to me. On the 9th, it was reported that 9,500 tickets were sold the first 2 days. To give you an impression here, CHI Center holds 18,000 people. They expected it would be sold out. I know everybody. It seemed like everybody I knew went. Everybody was out there in a big way. And what was interesting to me too, at the same time, there was a concert going on at the Baxter Arena. Ja Rule and Ashanti was out there. And they said couldn't get the figures there, but that place holds 7,900 people. And I heard there was at least 3,000 tickets sold the last beforehand. So we don't know if that ended up selling out or how many people showed up on the day of either. All tickets, the fight was $50 up to for 500, and the Ja Rule Ashanti started at $60 a ticket. It's just interesting to me how Nebraskans can spend $50 or $60 a ticket to come out for certain things. Don't come out for other things, but they come out. It's interesting to see what they do come out for. It's interesting to see what the community actually rallies and spends money and comes out for. So, back in the champ in his hometown, that seemed like it was a very necessary thing to do, necessary show to go to. And when you think about 9,500 tickets sold, that's a lot. It's a lot. I often wonder what happens there. Wanda Lewis says, my daughter said even the after party was packed. Her feet was killing her. Yeah, that's what's up. Very interesting stuff to relay on that thing. I often like to see that, especially when it comes to big events like this. How many people are actually here? How many people what kind of industries can you expect people to come out for and spend real money on? You know what I'm saying? So Bud Crawford is the people's champ, man. He's a source of pride here in Omaha, Nebraska, and as you can see, people will show out for him on that. So that's very interesting observation as far as I'm concerned.
In a big way. In a big way.
Just Go ahead.
Well, I mean that really kind of does it for me for the lightning round.
Okay, cool. In the chat, real quick, that woman says, "I like that. I like that handle." The health insurance marketplace is now open until looks like December 15th is when it closes. If you don't
Yep.
have health insurance, there are plans as low as $0 per month. Health as well. There you go.
There you go.
The marketplace. Definitely check it out. That woman says some people don't like boxing. I don't know. Seems like everybody in town does. She said Wanda Lewis says I seen everyone's live on the concert. It was packed out too. Right. That's what
See?
I'm saying. You be thinking there's not the numbers here, but you got 6, 7, you got 5, 6,000 people in one spot. You got 95,000 people in another spot. I mean 9,500 people in another spot. It's like no, it just depends on what they come out for. Is what
Yeah.
it is.
And people show up, they show out.
That's real. 9 o'clock, buddy. You got some words for the people?
As always, big shout out to our partners at the Reader, at El Perico, at Flatwater Free Press. So we appreciate again Natalia Alamdari and Sister Karlha Valesquez for stopping through and speaking with us. A big shout out to all of you, the chat chimers. A lot of good input here on the chat. So we appreciate everyone letting their mind be free, letting their voice be heard. Of course, the ghost listeners, first and last time listeners, we appreciate you as well for embarking on this journey and this experience with us. Again, this is the last week of the season, man. Time is flying, and that's why we don't fully believe in the concept of time here. We just show up and do the thing, man. So we appreciate y'all. Again, looking for input. How would you like to see us improve? How can we help you more easier experience this show, and what type of improvements would you like to see? So always taking in feedback, always taking in consideration. But in the meantime, in between time, we appreciate you. We love you. We thank you. Until Wednesday, Paul B. Take it away.
Man, the only things that I got coming up here for haps, and we'll save some for Wednesday, and of course, we'll save some for Friday and have an extensive haps on our last day. Kwanzaa in the Village looks like it's coming up, and that's leads me to a few things. There's another Kwanzaa event. I don't know if it's the same one, but Kwanzaa luncheon celebration is happening here. Yeah, $50 for the tickets. We'll see. We were just talking about a $50 ticket to see Ja Rule and them. So we'll see how this turns out. 16th annual fundraising community Kwanzaa luncheon celebration. Not sure who's behind this, but it might be something we can talk about on Wednesday, because this was thrown into the Friends of First Sky Omaha. We really appreciate that happening. You guys putting stuff in Friends of First Sky Omaha and seeing what the community wants to talk about and come out for. So we'll definitely see on that. We'll talk about it. We'll go ahead and wrap things up. Brother Valentine says boxing is okay, but that MMA UFC is a whole different level.
Yeah.
Very true. They come out for that as well. We have a superstar here in town as well, of the people's champ, my man Houston Alexander, that has that thing up. So we got a lot. We got some wrestling, some boxing, some MMA, all kinds of sports out here that people really show up for. Interesting stuff. Pop says, wonderful show as always. Great guests and sparkling, insightful conversation. Thank you. He says, see you all on Wednesday, God willing, and the creek don't rise. All right, Pops. Brother Valentine says, another informative show. Sad we only have 2 more shows left. Yeah, but we'll be back before you know it. No problem, no problem. We'll take it from there. We want to give thanks to the Omaha tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Thanks to our elders for allowing us to speak before them. And thanks to you, the chat chimers, for allowing us to speak with you and have these conversations about things that are affecting us in our neighborhoods, trying to find some solutions for all those things. And we really appreciate your insights and your research and your expertise on things as well. We have the best chat ever. So we really, really appreciate that. You guys are my main chimies. That's what's going on. Yeah, love it. So we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Thanks to everybody who is a reoccurring sponsor of the channel as well. For all the new people that have signed up, really appreciate you very, very much. We cannot continue to do this and grow without your support and your help. So if you find this valuable, please do us a favor. Go to firstskyOmaha.com, hit the donate button, and become a reoccurring sponsor of the channel. Also, tell a friend. It's going down, especially on YouTube. We're directing a lot of people over there. We are going to keep the Facebook page, but we would love to have you on YouTube for the conversation and for all the tools that we can use over there to enhance the conversation. And that's what's up. With that said, we'll see you Wednesday when we have a Precious McKesson politicking with Pete on, and also Kimber Snipes seeing what's good in the hood on Women's Wednesday. We'll see you then. Until then, you guys stay warm Take care of each other. Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious. This is protected by the red, the black, and the green.